Greetings, pumpkin kings and queens. Today we are reviewing Pumpkin Jack, a game that comes to us from developer Nicholas Masonier and publisher Head Up. I played this one on Steam. It is also going to be coming out on Xbox and Switch the same day and later on the PS4. So the lore of Pumpkin Jack is essentially that the devil is bored and decides to curse the whole world. He then is fought by this wizard that is hired by the humans because they don't want their world to be fire and brimstone. And in order to get back at the wizard, he hires Jack, puts him in the body of a pumpkin, and sends him to Earth to get rid of this wizard. So basically, you get to play on the side of evil, which is perfect for the Halloween season, in my humble opinion. Much like any other 3D platformer, you have your basic moves. You can attack. You have a special attack with a crow that you befriend by killing a scarecrow. You can also jump and move your camera. But there are also some other mechanics to the gameplay that are thrown in to kind of spice things up. There are some cart levels, as well as some levels where you just snap Jack's head right off and you use his little fiery pumpkin self to solve puzzles. Some of these puzzles include hitting switches and hitting bombs into objects to blow open new doorways. These are just a few of the examples of the way this game changes things up from level to level. There's everything from fleeing a barn fire to horseback riding thrown in here. You can regain health if you're injured by collecting little green orbs, which can be found pretty much everywhere, from killing enemies to opening boxes. But you can also regain full health at checkpoints where you can drink a little magic cauldron potion thing. You can also find collectible crow skulls along the way, which can be used to purchase new skins for Jack. I was particularly fond of making Jack a little cowboy. And of course, you can get more superior weapons with each level. For example, at one point you gain a sword that has some sort of magical abilities, and it allows Jack to kind of glide over the screen and use some more magic-based attacks. You can also switch between weapons at any point by pulling up a weapon wheel. And of course, at the end of each level, you face off against a boss. As a fan of 3D platformers, I so greatly enjoyed this game. I had been looking forward to this since I played the demo many months ago now, and this did not disappoint as far as gameplay goes. This one was easy to pick up, a fair challenge, and whenever there was a section that I had some difficulty with, playing it a few times through, I was able to accomplish whatever needed to be done. The game does count every death, so each time Jack dies, you get a screen mocking you. When you do die, you typically start at the most recent checkpoint, so it is pretty forgiving. So one of the coolest parts of Pumpkin Jack is the fact that it includes ray tracing, so the graphics are really beautiful. It has such cool colors and glow to it when it works properly, but unfortunately, that is not always the case, and perhaps it's just because it's such a demanding technology, or perhaps it's just not quite properly implemented just yet. Regardless, it did tend to slow my game down at times. Just to give you an idea of what I was working with here, I was playing Pumpkin Jack on a computer with GTX 2070 Super with a Ryzen 3600. When it was working, it worked great. Everything looked beautiful. The fire effect and the effect of the glow on the water was amazing. But when it wasn't working, I had to turn it off right away because the game was quite literally unplayable. The slowdown was so significant, I couldn't even turn the camera around. Regardless, it's a beautiful game. I love the color schemes. I loved all the different settings. I love anything spooky themed, so this made my little Nightmare Before Christmas heart skip a beat. After I did turn off the ray tracing effect, there was no real slowdown. Everything ran pretty smoothly. There could be a number of enemies on the screen at once with no issue. The enemies themselves are fairly similar in design. You can't really tell a zombie from a ghost sometimes, but they're all very charming and very Halloween-y, and I enjoyed them greatly. And moving right along to the soundtrack, it definitely sounds like it was composed by someone like Danny Elfman. It sounded like it could have fit right in A Nightmare Before Christmas. It was that kind of spooky Halloween sound that is so common in any sort of Halloween movie like Hocus Pocus or Halloween Town. There's a lot of what sounds like xylophone and maybe a theremin. There is no voice acting, which is a little bit disappointing, but I'll forgive it. And just something else to quickly point out about the music. I don't know if this has been patched by now or not, but there was one scene where I was in a pretty stressful chase to get out of a barn, and the music kept switching back to the kind of calm, cool, and collected standard level music instead of the anxiety-inducing chase music, and it really took me out of the moment. With that small criticism, I loved the soundtrack and I loved the look of Pumpkin Jack. It creates such a good, spooky, cartoony mood that is perfect for the Halloween season. Throughout the 6 to 7 hour-ish campaign, I was really reminded of some of the classic 3D platformers like Medieval, not just in gameplay, but also in tone. And I think there's something special about a game that reminds me of such a classic, but also feels like a brand new adventure. If you're looking to get into the Halloween spirit, or if you just really enjoy a good 3D platformer, this is definitely one to check out. I think this one will really lift your spirits, so trick or treat yourself to Pumpkin Jack. Thank you so much for checking out our review of Pumpkin Jack. If you'd like to see more videos like this one, hit the subscribe button below where you can follow all of our reviews and previews. You can also check out the description box for links to our Discord, as well as our merchandise store, and you can become a member and support us further. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.
Has returned to the mortal realm.